Leaving Afghanistan. In tonight's special report, a misguided mission. What did America accomplish during the two-decade war? An active duty service member says after 20 years, America's mission in Afghanistan is still unclear.
Yeah, and tonight he's sharing his insights into what went right and what went wrong during America's longest war. Christina Pascucci now has his story.
KTLA is getting an exclusive insider perspective from an active duty service member who has executed special missions in Afghanistan.
I have been there 5 times. I have typically been acting in a air support role.
We're concealing his identity as he fears retaliation.
Is it fair to call them covert missions?
Many of them were working with special operations for a majority of those. There's a lot of information that the average American doesn't get on the news. One of the main targets that we were going into the war with was to find high-value individuals, people who were at kind of the top of the food chain in the Taliban, try to figure out where the best place to either capture or kill them would be.
20 years, did we hurt or help?
I would hope we help have a vested interest in seeing Afghanistan succeed. I spent a lot of time there, and I hate to look back on it and be like, that was all a waste.
While government officials said it would take months for Kabul to fall, it took days.
I think we failed the people of Afghanistan.
What do you think the biggest successes and biggest failures are of the last 20 years?
The war that we fought definitely modernized our U.S. military counterinsurgent operations. The special operations as a whole grew significantly during this time. Funding for new equipment, better training. One of our biggest failures was not setting clear objectives before we actually involved ourselves. Many of my friends and people who served there were just really disgusted with how the entire war was managed.
The only constant under 4 U.S. presidents, he says, was the inconsistent directives. One would hold back on airstrikes, afraid of civilian casualties.
The most frustrating thing that I found in my time there was watching entire villages being slaughtered, or people doing things, beheading prisoners, and being told that we could not intervene.
Another would push forward with more strikes, but he says none of the leadership seemed to give a clear end goal.
Every day when I was flying or on the ground, one of those questions are like, why are we here? I don't know what we're working towards.
President Trump released a statement in recent weeks saying, in part, if he were president, the Taliban would understand what they've done is not okay. President Biden holding firm on his stance, it is time to withdraw.
After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces.
Do you think it's a smart decision to pull our troops out?
Part of me says yes because of the high cost. Most people don't understand what happens when we agree to go do something like this and what it costs.
Why do you think they're sending some troops back?
I don't know. It kind of goes back to my previous point. What's our objective? Is this a way for us to say that we didn't completely abandon them?
Next in our series, a combat veteran bears it all, the image that still haunts him and what he sees as a true cost of war. Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.